verse says, the beautiful woman, oh beautiful woman, when you strike the bouncing ball against the ground with again and again, your lotus feet do not stay in one place. Oppressed by the weight of your full grown breasts, your waist becomes fatigued, and your clear vision grows dull, as it were. Pray, braid your comely hair. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The demons observe beautiful gestures in the woman's every step. Here, they praise her full-grown breasts, her scattered hair, and her movements in stepping forward and backward while playing with the ball. In every step, they enjoy her womanly beauty, and while they enjoy her beauty, their minds become agitated by sex desire, as moths at night surround a fire and are killed. So the demons become victims of the movements of the ball-like breasts of a beautiful woman. The scattered hair of a beautiful woman also afflicts the heart of a lusty demon. Well, this verse, that's the purport of the verse, and it's basically showing how the illusory attachment to the body of a woman can completely derail the mind of a man from the thinking of Krishna. And now they are such men just focused on the body of a woman. And you have, plenty of places now in all over the world where there are what you call girly girls, uh, you know, and dressed very scantily and dancing. And also they have what's called pole dancing, Pole dancing, where women are almost completely naked and they're dancing around this pole. And the whole thing is nonsense. And very low class men go and pay to see uh, such a performance that just increases their lust for sense gratification. And at the same time, uh, they give money to women as the woman dances close to them. And the whole thing is based on arousing sexual desire. And the demoniac men, they like to observe the beautiful gestures in a woman's every step. This is the purport. Here they praise her full-grown breasts, her scattered hair, and her movements in stepping forward and backward while playing with the ball. In every step, they enjoy her womanly beauty, and while they enjoy her beauty, their minds become agitated by sex desire, as moths at night surround a fire and are killed. So the demons become victims of the movements of the ball-like breasts of a beautiful woman. The scattered hair of a beautiful woman also afflicts the heart of a lusty demon. Well, all this is going on every day in nightclubs around the United States, all over the world, where women dance with hardly any clothes on, and men pay money to see the almost completely naked body of a woman. Prabhupada said one time we were driving in Paris, and he saw there's a long line of looked like older men waiting to get into a nightclub. And Prabhupada says, "What is that?" And we said, well, Prabhupada, that's a nightclub, and these men are waiting to get in. He said, how much does that cost? And we said, it's at least $50. He said, just see. They can go and see their wife naked for nothing, but now they're trying to get into the nightclub by paying $50 and then they'll spend more money in the nightclub just to see a naked woman when they can go home and see their wife naked. He said, this is complete nonsense. Prabhupada was very witty, actually. And this is only for, very, very low class men. And read the purport one more time. The demons observe beautiful gestures in a woman's every step. Here, they praise her full grown breasts, her scattered hair, and her movements in stepping forward and backward while playing with the ball. In every step, they enjoy her womanly beauty, and while they enjoy her beauty, their minds become agitated by sex desire. All moths at night surround a fire and are killed. So the demons become victims of the movements of the ball-like breasts of a beautiful woman. The scattered hair of a beautiful woman also afflicts the heart of a lusty demon. Well, this is something that is happening every day all around the world in different types of bars and girly shows and so forth. And it only corrupts the mind of men, and obviously the low class men. And it keeps their minds agitated all the time with sex desire. Okay, so text 37. The Asuras, clouded in their understanding, took the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman, showing herself in her alluring form, and they seized her. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Asuras are described here as mutadiya, meaning that they are captivated by ignorance, just like the ass, meaning like a donkey. The demons were captivated by the false, glaring beauty of this beautiful form, and thus they embraced her. Text number 38. With a laugh full of deep significance, the worshipful Brahma, then evolved by his own loveliness, which seemed to enjoy itself by itself, the hosts of Gandharvas and Apsaras. And this is a very interesting verse. And the purport says, the musicians in the upper planetary systems are called Gandharvas, and the dancing girls are called Apsaras. After being attacked by demons and evolving a form of a beautiful woman in the twilight, Brahma next creates Gandharvas and Apsaras. So you have to take into account, first, Brahma creates these basically what you would say homosexuals. Now he's creating other living entities. Brahma next created Gandharvas and Apsaras. So Gandharvas and Apsaras are very, very beautiful women. Music and dancing employed in sense gratification are to be accepted as demoniac. But the same music and dancing, when employed in glorifying the Supreme Lord as kirtana, are transcendental, and they bring about a life completely fit for spiritual enjoyment. Well, now we see that there's different types of dancing and music and singing and so forth. If the music and dancing and singing is for glorifying the Supreme Lord as kirtana, then it is transcendental. uh, and then one can feel spiritual enjoyment. But if it's for the dancing and so forth of a slightly clad woman or a woman that's almost naked, then it's demoniac. And only really low class people go into these nightclubs and places like that where they can see this. Okay. Text 39. After that, Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight. Vishva, Vishvavasu and other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it. Text 40. The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth. The sloth would be referring to his anus and his genitals, I guess. So the glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth, the ghosts and fiends, but he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. Purport by his divine grace.
Sloth means laziness, sluggishness.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From his sloth. Okay. Glorious Brahma then
In the
evolved.
previous verse, it mentioned he became little. Okay, yeah, that's the meaning of sloth. Okay.
Okay. The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth, the ghosts and fiends. But he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Ghosts and mischievous hobgoblins are also the creation of Brahma. They are not false. All of them are meant for putting the conditioned soul into various miseries. They are understood to be the creation of Brahma under the direction of the Supreme Lord. So you can see how, uh, right from the beginning of time, there are good people and bad people. And not only bad people, you also have ghosts and fiends, like demons, devils. And they like to walk around naked with their hair scattered. Oh my God. Okay. And Brahma is obliged to create such beings because the Lord wants it. Text 41. The ghost and hobgoblin took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma, the creator of the living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity. Well, when a person sleeps and drools, that means there's a very foul smelling uh, bit that comes out of their mouth while they're sleeping. That means that ghosts have entered into the mouth and the body of the person who's sleeping. And that's why it says the hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity. Yeah, as soon as uh, one begins to drool means saliva starts, very bad smelling saliva comes out of the mouth of a man. And while they're sleeping, that means that these ghosts have entered into the body of the man, and are making him uh, contaminated. And eventually they start acting very strange, as if they're in a state of insanity. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts takes place in an unclean state of existence. Yeah, especially when people don't bathe regularly, don't cut their fingernails, don't cut their hair, don't continue to put on unclean clothes and underwear and things like that. They are prime specimens of ghostly haunted persons. The disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts takes place in an unclean state of existence. So people don't bathe regularly, don't brush their teeth, don't have clean clothes, sleep in dirty beds, and basically have and basically they're ghostly haunted, and they're acting in an insane way, uh, talking to themselves, walking down the street, talking to themselves. You can see that usually in downtown Seattle. people, people walking down the street talking to themselves. You know that means they're ghostly haunted. Uh, and then here, Prabhupada says, here it is clearly stated that when a man is fast asleep and saliva blows from his mouth, and usually it smells very bad, and he remains unclean, ghosts then take advantage of this unclean state and haunt his body. In other words, those who drool, those who let this, while they're sleeping, let this saliva that smells really bad come out of their mouth. The drool while they're sleeping are considered unclean and are subject to be haunted by ghosts or to go insane. Well, yeah, you have people who are, like drug addicts or they are alcoholics and they don't bathe regularly. Sometimes they sleep uh, on the ground outside, and you see them. You can see them if you walk in the right places. Uh, and it's a little bit surprising. You see a person in the middle of the day just sleeping on the ground, and you think, "Oh my God, what's wrong with this person?" Well, they're taking drugs. They're not bathing. They might be drooling some saliva from their mouth. The whole thing is pathetic and very, very disconcerting to see something like that. When a human being has uh, let themselves uh, deteriorate to that condition of life where they're always intoxicated, never hardly taking baths, their clothes are not clean, and they're panhandling, meaning that they're asking people to give them money and things like that. Very, very sad thing to see. But it's you can see it today if you want. Of course, it's not a nice thing to see, and unfortunately, there are more and more people like that. So Prabhupada says the disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts takes place in an unclean state of existence. Yeah, it's really important to bathe at least twice a day and uh, not eat unclean things like meat and other things like that. Not take any intoxicants like beer or whiskey or drugs, and not wear unclean clothes day after day. Just completely lose control over any hygiene and any let's say uh, and living in an unclean place, and eating unclean food. So these are all symptoms of a very, very sad person who is ghostly haunted. The disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts takes place in an unclean state of existence. Here it is clearly stated that when a man is fast asleep and saliva flows from his mouth and he remains unclean, ghosts then take advantage of this unclean state and haunt his body. In other words, they enter into his body when that type of saliva is coming out of their mouth, with their mouth open while they're sleeping. In other words, those who drool meaning those when they're sleeping, their mouth is somewhat open and this very foul smelling saliva comes out of their mouth while sleeping are considered unclean and are subject to be haunted by ghosts or to go insane. So when there's a person like that, these ghosts enter in through the mouth and basically take control of the body of that very unclean person. And then if you see a person walking down the street talking to himself and very unclean and so forth, that person is ghostly haunted. And you see these type of people downtown Seattle. What's that neighborhood? Uh, it's near the stadiums. Anyway, there are people like that, unfortunately, and they're addicted to drugs and to alcohol. A lot of people, a lot of them are alcoholics, and they've completely lost control of themselves, and they're ghostly haunted. Okay, text 42. Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, the worshipful Brahma, the creator of the living entities, evolved from his own invisible form from his navel the hosts of Sadyas and Pitas. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sadyas and Pitas are invisible forms of departed souls, meaning people who have died, and they are also created by Brahma. Now, you might be asking yourself a question as to how come Brahma, who's supposed to be a saintly person, is giving birth to such horrible types of people? Well, it's not that he likes to do that, but he's being forced to do that because Krishna is, in other words, Krishna is forcing that. Now, why would Krishna force him to do that? Because uh, all living entities come from Krishna originally. And the ones that choose by their own desire or choice to uh, engage in very low class behavior, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, not bathing, taking intoxicants, and so forth. Well, they uh, gradually fall into this very, very unclean state. Now, is it Krishna's fault? No. It's the desire of these very low class people who become addicted to drugs and so forth. And you can see them. You can see them downtown Seattle. It's a very sad thing to see. And uh, they are basically ghostly haunted persons. Text 43. The Pitas themselves took possession of the invincible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals offer oblations to the Sadyas and Pitas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddha. Shraddha is performed by Hindus to benefit their ancestors who have died. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Shraddha is a ritualistic performance observed by the followers of the Vedas. There is a yearly occasion of 15 days, it's usually in the fall, when ritualistic religionists follow the principle of offering oblations, meaning offering food, to departed souls. Thus, those fathers and ancestors who, by freaks of nature, might not have a gross body for material enjoyment, can again gain such bodies due to the offering of Shraddha oblations by their descendants. This is usually in the fall, and there's a period about 10 or 15 days when all people perform Shraddha ceremonies. The performance of Shraddha or offering oblations, in other words, they cook food and then they offer it to their ancestors. So it says, those thus those fathers and ancestors who, by freaks of nature, might not have a gross body for material enjoyment, can again gain such bodies due to the offering of Shraddha oblations by their descendants. And usually the Shraddha is they invite sadhus to come to their house and they feed them. And it's supposed to help their ancestors. The performance of Shraddha or offering oblations, offering like food, offering oblations with prasada, offering prasadam, is still current in India, especially at Gaya, where oblations are offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Gaya is what? It's in South India, I think. Or no, maybe not.
North India.
North India. Okay. Where oblations are offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Because the Lord is thus pleased with the devotional service of the descendants by his grace, he liberates the condemned souls of forefathers who do not have gross bodies. In other words, they became ghosts. And he favors them to again receive a gross body for the development of spiritual advancement. Unfortunately, by the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul employs the body he gets for sense gratification, forgetting that such an occupation may lead him to return to an invisible body. The devotee of the Lord, or one who is in Krishna consciousness, however, does not need to perform such ritualistic ceremonies as Shraddha because he is always pleasing the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his fathers and ancestors who might have been in difficulty are automatically relieved. The vivid example is Prahlad Maharaja. Prahlad Maharaja requested Lord Nrsingadev to deliver his sinful father, Hiranyakashipu, who had so many times offended the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord replied that in a family where a Vaishnava like Prahlada is born, not only his father, but his father's father and their fathers, up to 14 fathers back, are all automatically delivered. In other words, you can have 14 generations of your family liberated if you become a pure devotee, are automatically delivered. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals because he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. Yeah, so sometimes the devotees are criticized because they don't do the Shrud ceremony and other types of ceremonies like that. And why? Because just being Krishna conscious, meaning follow the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, regularly chanting your rounds every day and bathing regularly and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita spoken by genuine devotees, going out on Sankirtan and chanting the holy names for the benefit of people, eating only prasadam and so forth. All these things are not only helping the devotee, but helping their ancestors also. So you don't have to perform these special Shrud ceremonies, which usually take place in the early fall, I think. Yeah. And you have, these sadhus that do these rituals during that period. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of all good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. Why? Well, if you become Krishna conscious, then you can liberate at least 14 generations of your family, up to 14 farther back. So it's like 14 generations of your family are automatically delivered. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. So if you really love your family members and your uh, and ancestors, the best thing is to become a devotee. Okay.
So many solutions.
Yes. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of all good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that a person fully conversant with a Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals because he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. So all these rituals that brahmanas do, devotees don't do. It's not necessary. As long as they're following all the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, chanting your rounds, bathing regularly, Sankirtan, and so forth, and preaching, especially. So if you're just engaging simply by serving Krishna and full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. So you can see now why in Krishna consciousness, as opposed to traditional Hinduism, we don't really have a lot of rituals that we perform. What we do, however, is chant Hare Krishna and engage in Sankirtan. But the Hindus, they're always doing these different types of pujas. There's they have different names. Like you have pujas for your ancestors. You have pujas for getting rid of you know uh, so your son can get into college. You have pujas, all kinds of pujas. I met this one Indian man. He had a big thick book like this, and he says, "I have mantras for anything, for everything. Right? You want your son to do well in his studies? I got a mantra for that, and this thing and that." So this is what's happening and you're saying that devotees don't really engage in rituals so much, but the so-called uh, pundits, that's what they do. Yeah, and they make money doing it. They make their living by doing it. You know? And some of the pujas are well, you could call them strange. Uh, like for example, if someone dies in your family, then the pundit says, "Don't go to the temple. Don't chant Hare Krishna. Don't do this. Don't do that." many time, many time devotees ask me a question. I said, "Well, my family member died, and the pundit told me that I shouldn't go to the temple. I shouldn't chant Hare Krishna." I said, "Ignore that."
These instructions are Maharaj very much followed in India. I've seen
Yeah,
in our family and
they do it here too.
very strictly. And then like they even don't allow to worship in the home as well. Like should
Yeah, yeah. Why is that? Well, they think that you're unclean because someone died in your house. However, what we do, however, is uh, chant Hare Krishna and eat prasadam. That is what helps your ancestors, not stopping to chant Hare Krishna, stopping to eat prasadam. Uh, so as long as we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're performing uh, all things that are beneficial for our ancestors. We don't have to do all these pujas and so-called uh, types of ancestor worship. All right. Okay. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of all good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. So that is the main point, that just by being Krishna conscious and following all the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, you don't have to perform all these pujas and things like that. You just have to be a good devotee, chant your rounds every day, be very clean, chant Hare Krishna, and so forth. Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness, in other words, a person who's always performing all the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, does not perform any rituals because he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. Okay, so someone might say, well, you're saying that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals. But how about chanting Hare Krishna? Is that a ritual? Not really. It's a glorification of the Lord. It's not really a ritual. Ritual, okay, look up the definition of a ritual. It's some kind of a ceremony performed for a purpose, some purpose. That's why sometimes the pundit will have you say mama in the beginning of the ritual, which means that this is for me. Yes.
A religious or solemn ceremony.
A what?
Religious or solemn ceremony.
A what? Solemn.
Solemn.
Solemn, yeah, not solemn. That sounds like some Muslim word.
Lemon.
Go ahead.
A religious or solemn.
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 Consisting of a series of actions performed according to prescribed order. According to a prescribed order.
That's all it says?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the definition of? Ritual. So that's why Vaishnavas don't perform too many ceremonies and things like that. What we do, however, is chant Hare Krishna. You know. Now you'll see, even in our temple, we'll invite some Pandit to come, and he'll be reciting different mantras for about 2 hours. You don't understand one word. And
There's some more detail about
yeah, go ahead.
ritual is a set of actions performed in a specific order, often with symbolic meaning, typically as part of a religious or cultural ceremony. Rituals can serve various purposes such as worship, commemoration, initiation, or celebration, and often imbued with significant cultural, spiritual, or social meanings. Rituals, the key characteristics are repetition. Rituals are usually repeated over time, often on a regular basis. Formality, they follow a specific and established form or procedure. Symbolism, actions and objects used in the rituals often carry symbolic meaning beyond their literal function. There is a community. Rituals are often performed in a communal setting, fostering a sense of belonging and shared identity. Purpose.
Yeah, not mentioning Krishna there.
No.
No, it's basically a type of ceremonies for material benefit, not really for spiritual benefit. Unfortunately, we invite brahmanas sometimes to do those type of rituals in the temple, but it's not necessary. The main thing is chanting Hare Krishna and always following the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness. You don't have to do all these rituals. Basically, nobody understands anything anyway. The Pandit is chanting so many different mantras. You don't understand one word. He could be saying all kinds of nonsense things you wouldn't know. Yeah. Okay.
Question.
Yeah.
So, Maharaj, is this applicable for a neophyte devotee as well, like who is following Krishna conscious rules and regulations, but he's like still a neophyte? That devotee can also just follow the Krishna conscious rules and regulation and chant Hare Krishna and skip the, the rituals.
Well, look what Prabhupada says here. He says, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author, says that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals. There it is right there. Because he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed.
So when the word comes fully conversant with Krishna consciousness, that's what I was trying to get that more clarification. Does it mean
You follow all the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness.
the neophytes are covered as far as they are following?
Everybody is covered. So that's why every day we're hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day we're eating only prasadam. Yeah, like when they have the Shad ceremony, they'll invite a Brahmana to their house and they'll feed the Brahmana. And that means that your ancestors are also fed, right? But every day, if you only eat prasadam, you're also helping your ancestors, and not just once a year, but every day, right? So just by being Krishna conscious, all other things are satisfied. You know, you don't have to do these special pujas for your ancestors or whatever. You're doing it puja every day in the form of eating only prasadam, chanting Hare Krishna, and so forth. Now, of course, brahmanas make money by doing it. So therefore, they have the incentive, material incentive for doing these pujas because they make money and make them a living doing that. But basically, you don't have to do any of that. You just chant Hare Krishna. Anyway, do you understand anything they say? All the mantras they say? No, you don't understand one word. So it's better just to chant Hare Krishna. So Hare is Srimati Radharani. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, and then Rama is another name of Krishna. Yeah, so you're covered. Okay. Text 44. Then Lord Brahma, by his ability to be hidden from vision, created the Siddhas and Vidyadharas and gave them that wonderful form of his known as Antardana. Antardana means that these living creatures can be perceived to be present, but they cannot be seen by vision. So it's the ability to become invisible. One day, next text 45, one day Brahma, the creator of the living entities, beheld his own reflection in the water, and admiring himself, he evolved Kimpurushas as well as Kinnaras out of that reflection. Next, the Kimpurushas and Kinnaras took possession of that shadowy form left by Brahma. That is why they and their spouses sing his praises by recounting his exploits at every daybreak. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The time early in the morning, 1.5 hours before sunrise, is called Brahma Muhurta. During this Brahma Muhurta, spiritual activities are recommended. Spiritual activities performed early in the morning have a greater effect than in any other part of the day. So this is like 1 hour, 1.5 hours before sunrise. It's called Brahma Muhurta. It's the best time of the day to make spiritual advancement. One time we asked Prabhupada a question, but we were in a car and there was a lot of noise, other cars were honking their horns and things. This was in Paris. And I asked Prabhupada a question and I said, what did I say? Let me think about this a minute. Well, anyway, I asked him a question, but because there was so much noise, he didn't understand what I asked. And basically, I said to him, what's the meaning of this verse? That's what I said. There was a verse. I said, what's the meaning of the verse? What is day for the so-called
saints is
some people? It's nighttime for the introvert and introspective stage, and what is daytime for the introspective stage is nighttime for the nonsense people. So when I asked that question, because there was noise from the outside coming, taxis and cars, and they were beeping their horns and things. And basically all he heard was, what is the time of awakening? He said, 4 o'clock. Our devotees wake up 4 o'clock. And then I said, no, Prabhupada, I asked the question, what does this verse mean? What is the time of awakening for the introspective stage? That is time of sleep for the the nonsense people and so on. And then he laughed. He said, yes, it says that this means that we are, when the karmis see us chanting in the street, they are laughing. And when we see the karmis rushing to go to work and engage, to make money and so forth, we are laughing. He said, they are laughing and we are laughing, but our laugh is better. That's how he explained this. What is daytime for the massive people is nighttime for the introspective sage and so forth. So the point is that a devotee is always engaged in some type of spiritual activity, whereas the materialists, they can go day after day, month after month, completely in Maya, not doing anything spiritual at all, just thinking about making money and having sense gratification.
Verses Bhagavad Gita 269.
Okay, what does it say?
What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective.
Stage. Yeah. So basically, 4 o'clock in the morning is when all the nonsense people are coming home after the party or after partying. And that's the time that devotees are waking up to chant Hare Krishna. So, that's why it says what is
For
right.
all beings.
It's the time of awakening for the introspective stage. Yeah.
The time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective side.
Yeah, time of awakening for all beings. In other words, like 8 o'clock at night, they're going to the party, right? And then 4 o'clock, they're coming home, and that's when the devotees are waking up to chant Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah, so then Prabhupada said, this verse means that when the karmis see the devotees chanting in the streets, they are laughing. And when the devotees see the karmis rushing to go to work and honking their cars, horn, and things like that, they are laughing, he said. They're laughing and we're laughing, he said. But our laugh is best. Yeah, because they think, oh, these devotees are wasting their time doing Sankirtan, chanting Hare Krishna, but we're going to work, we're making money, we're making, the society, more valuable by creating things, blah, blah, blah. So Prabhupada says, they see us, they're laughing. We see them, we're laughing. But our laugh is best. Haribol. Okay, so we're almost finished. The text, 48 is it?
47.
47. Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length. He was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace. Apace. It's a strange word that usually people don't use. It's not happening in the way he expected. Let's put it like that. And in a sullen mood, he gave up that body too. Okay, so once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length, he was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace. And in a sullen mood, he gave up that body too. So apace is a very, very seldom used word. It's not happening in the way he wanted. In other words, it means, you want to look that word up? APAC.
Quickly.
Huh?
It's quickly.
Yes, swiftly or quickly.
Yeah, it's not happening the way
Phase.
the way you hoped it would happen.
Yeah.
Okay, then text 48. Oh dear Vidura, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes. And even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, there sprang from its ferocious there sprang from it ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded. So it says that once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length, he was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace. And in sullen mood, he gave up that body too. So when it talks about Brahma giving up this body, that body, it's talking about his mental state of mind. And then it says, oh dear Vidura, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes, and even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, there sprang from it ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded. Well, this is the process of creation, and it's all happening from Brahma's body because he's the first living entity and he's the first Purusha, or not Purusha, but he's the first, what's the name of that? He's the first,
Living entity.
huh?
First living entity, but
No, he's the first father of everything. But the name of that is, what is it called again? Prajapati. Yeah, he's the original Prajapati. Okay. So a lot of these statements are, if I'm not wrong, they're allegorical statements. Look that word up, allegorical. Anyway, we'll go into text 49. One day Brahma, the self-born, the first living creature, felt as if the object of his life had been accomplished. At that time, he evolved from his mind the Manus, who promote the welfare activities of the universe. So what does it mean? Yeah.
But allegorical means containing a moral or hidden meaning.
Say that again.
Containing a moral or hidden meaning.
Does it have a second definition?
Relating to or having the characteristics of allegory. Having hidden spiritual meaning that transcends the literal sense of a sacred text.
Yes. Read that last thing again.
Having hidden spiritual meaning.
Having what?
Hidden.
Hidden. Okay.
Spiritual meaning that transcends the literal sense of its sacred text.
Okay. So yeah, when it says, once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length, he was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace, had not proceeded in time, right? And in a sullen mood, he gave up that body too. So whenever he's talking about giving up the body, he's giving up his thought or desire. Oh dear Vidura, that the hair that dropped from that body, meaning Brahma's body, transformed into snakes, and even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, There sprang from it ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded. So this is all part of the creation of Brahma, of how Brahma is creating all the different forms and bodies of living entities. And so even the serpent and nagas, big snakes with their hoods expanded, is all coming from Brahma's thoughts. Right. One day, Brahma, the self-born, in other words, doesn't have a mother and father. He was born by Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
From the navel.
Huh?
From the navel.
Yes. One day, Brahma, the self-born, the first living creature, felt as if the object of his life had been accomplished. At that time, he evolved from his mind the Manus, who promote the welfare activities of the universe. Okay, next verse. The self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. On seeing the Manus, those who had been created earlier, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and so on, applauded Brahma, the Lord of the universe. Okay, so when it says the self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. So Brahma is the source of all living entities in the material world. He's not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he's close to being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is the first and foremost progenitor, the one who creates different species of living entities. So he has a very big responsibility. He's almost equal to Krishna. Not quite, though. Text 51. They prayed, O creator of the universe, we are glad. What you have produced is well done. Since ritualistic acts have now been established soundly in this human form, we shall all share the sacrificial oblations. Oblations are the results of the puja, basically prasadam. Purport. The importance of sacrifice is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, verse 10. The Lord confirms there that in the beginning of creation, Brahma created the Manus along with the ritualistic sacrificial method and blessed them. Continue these sacrificial rites, and you will be gradually elevated to your proper position of self-realization and will also enjoy material happiness. All the living entities created by Brahma are conditioned souls and are inclined to lord it over material nature. The purpose of sacrificial rituals is to revive gradually the spiritual realization of living entities. That is the beginning of life within this universe. These sacrificial rituals, however, are intended to please the Supreme Lord. Unless one pleases the Supreme Lord, or unless one is Krishna conscious, one cannot be happy either in material enjoyment or in spiritual realization. So there are many pujas that are performed today that are not really meant to please Krishna. Although before the Brahmana starts the puja, they usually say a mantra that that is about Krishna.
Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
They say it at the end of it.
At the end.
Yeah. So after everything is done,
Okay.
and they say first they do two different So the demigods, the forms of Vishnu. But then eventually they say Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. Means like
Everything is
Arpanam means like the
Everything's for the benefit of the Lord.
benefit of the Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
And that aligns with what Bhagavad Gita says. That he is the Bhaktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwar.
Yeah. Usually, do we hear our pundits say that? No, I don't mean the
Like
devotees. I
in
mean,
Balaji temple, if you see,
yeah,
when they do the Aarti,
yeah,
Balaji Aarti they say,
yeah,
and at the end of it, you maybe next time when we go, I'll
yeah,
point that one to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do the whole thing. Like it could be any of these Aartis or any of the ceremony. And then at the end of it, they'll simply say, Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu.
yeah,
And in fact, that's when I see most of the times you start the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
yes.
It aligns with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, time.
Yeah, it's time. Any questions or comments? Okay,
It's
so
amazing what Brahma could just by the
his
will.
thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just his thoughts and his. Yeah, basically, Brahma's different moods created different
Living entities. Yes.
So that's why it's important to understand what moods we should be reflecting.
Also today learned when there's a pure devotee, it's 14 generation. Before my understanding was 21 up and down. So
With
today
14
by
generation.
birth, 14 generation only. Yeah.
What do you mean? Up after the
No,
after
14
you
generations
or
back
before
before.
you?
Before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 14 generations of your
ancestors.
ancestors. Yeah. Haribol.
Right.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What's good is that in Kali Yuga, you don't have to do all these rituals. You just have to chant Hare Krishna sincerely. And you get the same result. And what is the result? Well, you're helping your ancestors. You're helping your family. You're helping yourself. But basically, if you develop love and devotion to Krishna, all other things are taken care of. You don't have to do all those so-called pujas, but you have to develop pure love and devotion for Krishna. Haribol. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila